An interesting thought came to my mind. That's the idea of labels. And I know this I've been tagged for this, but I'm not going to just be the normal tag where I just go through the list of responding to it. I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to expound upon some ideas I had in my head for a while. I guess in a way, this video is more of a continuation of some of the ideas I had in an older video I did. I'll post that video in the description box. The idea of labels, the idea of seeing a person based on a particular perception of who that person is, based on certain ideologies they hold, such as a religion or a political position or what country they're from, what and so on and so on. I can go on for hours on end. Um, like, let me start off like who I am. Like, as if I were to put any labels on myself as to who I am as a person, I would get a ton of labels. One of them would be, well, I am American. Well, technically, a mutt American, because like when most Americans are pretty much derived their ancestry from different parts of the world. Like for me specifically, I am part Irish, part Native American Cherokee, and part a little bit of British in me. Very interesting. So that makes me a mutt in a sense. Religiously, obviously Christian. If anyone who follows my channel would know that, obviously. Recent convert to Catholicism, although not confirmed yet. I'm working on that. Um, I'm a writer. That's what I am. That's what I do. That's what I go to school for. Believe it or not, Christianity is not my main thing I talk about in my daily life. That doesn't mean I don't follow it. I do. I do practice my faith. But my main career goal is not to be an apologist, if you want to use that terminology. It's strictly to be a writer. Perfect examples like Flannery O'Connor or Ernest Hemingway, William Faulkner, so etc. 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 Or you get the point, you know. Like in my older video, like all you see is my Christianity. I think what that video was going off was an idea of the labels we put on ourselves and others to make it easier to identify each other. I think there's both a positive and a negative aspect of having labels. Let me start with the positive. By having labels, it makes it easier to try and get to know a person that you may not necessarily know. I think that is a positive aspect of it. Like I'll give you like for example, like if you're meeting a cute girl and you want to get to know her, date her, and marry her. Like obviously, when you don't know her, you're gonna have labels put on her. You're probably gonna say, well, she's a blonde, or she's a waitress. She is a college student, and she's a Catholic, and so on, so on, so on. All these different labels we put on these people when we start getting to know them is how it makes it easier as human beings to identify who they are and how we can relate to them and see if these same people we put labels on them would be compatible with us. However, the downside to having labels is for the exact same reason. The exact same reason. Because we're putting labels on these people so we can make it easier to identify with them, it makes it harder to understand their complexity as human beings. Like for example, when someone who doesn't know me, they would probably put labels on me such as I'm white, I'm Irish American Cherokee, writer, Catholic, college student, etc., etc., etc. Those labels may be useful But they only tell half the story of who I am. They only tell half the story. I think labels in of themselves are both a good thing and a bad thing in of themselves because of the way we both use them to try to understand others, but at the same time, it hurts in trying to understand who they are as human beings. Downside and a negative. You know? I guess before I end this video, even with labels, with trying to understand who we are as complex human beings, we both rely too much on labels, but at the same time, not even using labels as an advantage to try and get to know the person. If that makes sense. I don't deny that labels can be useful, but at the same time, I think labels in themselves do not make it difficult to try and piece together the layers and layers and layers of a single individual human being, regardless as to who they are, what they believe, and where they come from. And that's about it. I don't know who to tag, so I'll just post in the description box. So have a good day.